Good, good. Hi, Sophia. Can you hear me? Sophia or anybody else listening to the LionSide Chat? I see Aaron or Luke, Melanie, Ryan, Sophia and Zachary, Elena, Christian. Ryan, can you text me into the Q&A feature? Can you hear me? Okay, thank you, Luke. Excellent. All right, yes, I am disabling the chat. Thanks, everybody. Yay, all you future rights alums out there. I appreciate you. Nice job. I did disable the chat, so thank you for that. And we will get started in about a minute. Thank you so much. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Penn State Berks LionSide Chats. My name is Dawn Pfeiffer Wrights, and I am one of the 3 LionSide Chat moderators working alongside Ryan Hassler and Sonia De La Cueto. And we enjoy bringing our campus and community these lively, timely, interesting chats, and we're excited that you are a part of that today. So come on in and welcome to our campus. I am so excited to be bringing this chat to you live in person and live streamed on our LionSide Chat platform. It's our real first attempt at this hybrid experience, working in conjunction with the FYS and the Health Week. Oh my gosh, I'm losing the wellness. Thank you, audience members. So I have a couple of quick announcements before we actually get started with our presenter. Tonight's session will be recorded and available in roughly 1 week on our LionSide Chat website archive page. We will not be utilizing a formal question and answers tonight, whether you're on Zoom or in the audience. So if you're joining us via Zoom, please note that no one will be monitoring the chat or the raise hand feature or the Q&A feature in Zoom. Those of you who are on Zoom, as you click out of the webinar, you'll be taken to a survey on your way out. Please take a few minutes to complete the survey on your way out and let us know your experience with today's event. Also, if your instructor assigned this keynote address for extra credit, there will be QR codes available in the back of the auditorium for those of you that are here in person. That takes you to our attendance form, and those will be available at the end of our session tonight. And your instructor will receive a copy of that form data. For those of you that are joining us via Zoom, your instructor will also receive a copy of the attendance that you had when you logged in. Okay, so all of that is all of the housekeeping items. So without further ado, I would like to be able to now introduce our speaker. I am pleased to introduce our keynote speaker for Wellness Week, Ms. Kelly Grosser. Kelly is the Chief Mission Impact Officer for the YWCA Tri-County area. And I just love saying that. Chief Mission Impact Officer. That's the best title ever. The Tri-County YWCA serves Berks, Montgomery, and Chester counties, and their mission is empowering women, eliminating racism, and promoting peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all. Kelly has been proudly aligned with this work that she does for the past 13 years. And I believe Kelly said on our way in tonight's your 13-year anniversary at the YW. So that's fantastic. Congratulations. And she has been fortunate to forge a pathway for the mission that aligns with her passions for health and wellness, trauma, responsive care and healing, lifelong education, and nonprofit leadership. Additionally, Kelly currently serves as the interim coordinator for Pottstown Trauma Informed Community Collaborative. She's a certified health and life coach and is a trauma responsive professional and facilitator. That's a lot of mouthfuls. So you are a busy woman, aren't you? Kelly's love for youth really started serving as a high school English teacher in Florida and California, but she returned home to Chester County and led her work then was able to allow her to grow into more powerful and inspiring situations than she could ever have imagined. Kelly says, in a time of such immense unrest, we do the work to keep the mission moving forward by supporting our communities, advocating for social justice, educating whenever and however we can, and leaning in to listen and learn as often as we can. So I can personally attest to the impact Kelly has had on our youth. She has inspired my 3 children in their youth, and as one of my dearest friends, she impacts the mission of my life on a regular basis. I could not think of someone more qualified to talk with us tonight. So let's get to it. Students, staff, faculty, and everyone joining us, our keynote speaker, Kelly Grosser on What the Health? Thank you, Kelly. Let me plug you in here. All right. There we go. You are live.
Awesome.
All set?
Well, thank you.
You are
Thank
so
much.
welcome.
That was very sweet. Thank you so much. It always sounds amazing when you hear your bio and you realize they're talking about you and you feel like, you wonder if you've done all those things. I absolutely have. Thank you so much for inviting me here tonight. Thank you for having me. Thank you for coming out. I know that it's a lot easier sometimes to stay and stream, and thank you for those of you who are doing that. When Dawn asked me to talk about wellness, it's easy. I am a certified health and life coach. I do clearly work in racial and social justice. I work in empowering women and youth. I adore anything to do with education. So coming into the space is really comfortable and wonderful to be a part of. But she reminded me that I was thinking about college freshmen. And so I really just wanted to just tell you a little bit about an experience that I had when I thought back to my own college freshman experience. So I was super involved in my college. I did all the things, right? I traveled abroad, I lived in DC, I was on the Athletic Council, I rushed, I pledged, I desubscribed in the end. I was really all over the place and really invested in part of the community of my school. And in my junior year, after getting a haircut, one of my roommates said, "There's a bald spot on the back of your head." What? And it kind of became this joke that, like, how could that have happened? It was only funny for a couple of minutes, right? And then when I kind of got back, I was all right. But then I got back to my room and I was like, okay, what is happening here? I'm missing some hair. Fortunately for me, it wasn't super visible, but it was very unnerving. And so I called home and I got myself home. I started talking to some doctors and started trying to understand what was happening. And immediately the response was like, well, just take this pill, just take this medication. You just need to do this. This must be wrong with you. You must have this thing, right? All these tests and all these, like, I remember getting the medication and like reading all of the information on it and thinking like, I'm not taking these pills. Like, there's so many things that could go wrong by doing this. I want to do more research. And so fast forward to my own journey, and I really started to understand that the impact that the stress of my life was having on my body was coming out through hair loss. No one was talking about that. No one talked to me about the brain-body connection. No one was talking to me about all the things I was doing, how that stress might be manifesting itself internally. And then I got the external output of hair loss. And so fortunately, I had the resources and the support to try to get some of those answers and to make sense of that for myself. But when I was in college, nobody was talking about this thing. This concept of wellness that you all are going to be thinking about and talking about is relatively new in terms of how we're looking at it in educational settings. If we think about brain-based theory and brain-based research, 40 years, it's not that long. So they really didn't have the information. You are all the fortunate beneficiaries of really a system of a body of evidence that is showing us things about wellness and about how to take care of ourselves and stress management that I didn't have the opportunity to have, but I get to be a part of it on the other side. And so saying all of that to say that I think that we are so incredibly fortunate to be in a time when wellness, right? Not just health. When you hear health, you might think, well, I imagine you think exercise, you think nutrition, you think macro, micro, calories in, calories out. It's so much more than that. And so I just wanted to tell you that story to understand that while I do all of this other amazing work, I'm really so blessed to do the work that I get to do with a team at the YW. We've been around for 127 years. We've been doing the work. We've been called to the mission. That's all amazing, but wellness is a piece of every bit of that. It's a part of everything we're doing. Right? If we're not okay here, we're not okay here, we can't be okay out there. And so that really is what brought me into this work and how this all connects to me. So I didn't pick up a. So really quickly, just to share with you. I think we're good. Okay, so I want to run through these really quickly. For those of you that are not familiar with the YWCA as an organization, our mission, like Dawn said, we are on a mission to eliminate racism and empower women and promote peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all. Wellness plays a big part in all of that. And that we'll get out the work and we're going to keep working towards rooting out injustice in lots of different ways, including health and wellness. So our core values and our mission, you can certainly see them. They're available to you online. Feel free to look. We would love to connect with some of you as we move forward. There are a lot of opportunities, especially for young women, with all kinds of mentorship opportunities and professional development. So let's get to the health part. So what the health? So as we're looking for definitions of health, right? So in one case, we could be talking about the state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So it's not just about the fact that you're not sick, it's that all those other things have to be true as well. And then a research for everyday life. So it's a positive concept, emphasizing social and personal resources, as well as physical capacities. So I love this image because it kind of puts you thinking, like, wait, when I think wellness, I'm thinking about my body, I'm thinking about my well-being. But what about my education? Is it in the space of wellness? What about my health? What about my home? What about my work? What about my people? Right? What about my family and my friends? What about my financial situation? All of those elements can have wellness tied to them. And so I love this concept of it really being more about the whole picture than just one thing. And I also want to focus for 1 second on the word dis-ease, right? So it's not just about having a disease, but anything that is dis-eased could be causing unrest in your wellness. So just kind of thinking that through as we go forward. So what we're going to do tonight, I know we're on a short schedule. I would love for us to relax. We're going to release a few things. We're going to relate, and then we're going to rename and connect to some things to go forward into the future. So my goal for you is that you leave with some tools and resources. These are free to you. They're available to you anywhere you go when you're stressed and overwhelmed, when you find yourself up for too many obligations and forgot to say no. These are the things that can help you with that. So we're going to move right into relax, and I'm going to ask if you would please take a minute to get comfortable in your seat wherever you are. If you're in your dorm room, you might want to lay flat on the bed. If you're sitting in a chair, I would ask you to take, if you have stuff on your lap, set it aside, give yourself some space just to be present. Put your feet on the floor, both feet flat on the floor. Take a deep breath in. Pull your shoulders back. Exhale. Take a deep breath in. Roll your shoulders back. Exhale. And try to just feel your body expanding from the center, releasing back to the center. With each breath, breathe a little bit deeper. Move deeper into your abdomen. And on your next inhale, breathe in self-care, breathe in acceptance, breathe in grace, courage, joy. And when you breathe it out, let it go. Let go of anything that's burdening you, anything that's holding you back, anything that's causing you concern. Let it go. Breathe in one more time, deep breath in. And exhale. And while you were doing that, thank you for that. Thank you for participating. While you were doing that, I suspect, possibly, that there were some things that were coming into your mind that you're having a hard time focusing, right? So you're here, it's a Wednesday night. It's Wednesday night, right? It's 7 o'clock on a Wednesday night. You've got other things that maybe have your attention. You've got other things to work on. You have other priorities. I want you to give yourself a pass. At the end of the day, you're here, so you might as well be here, right? Show up, be present, get something out of the experience. Those things will be waiting for you when you leave. The worry that you put forth in this space isn't going to solve the problem any faster. So I would love for you to take a minute and just give yourself this hour. Think things through really quickly. What are 3 things that you can just set aside? So you might need to, if you have a phone or a computer, you might need to brain dump. Feel free to take them out or write them out, back them down. What is the thing that's taking your energy out of the space externally? And just write them down. You can do like 30 seconds. Clear your mind, all the worries. And this is really a daily practice, especially for you to go to bed at night. It makes a lot of sense. Put it all out there, set it aside, let yourself get the rest you need. It will be there in the morning. You can tell it where to sleep it. Okay, so once you've literally written them out, we're going to set them aside and give yourself and Cassie some time to be in the space with us so that we can work through some transformational change. So one of the things that we've really been focusing a lot on recently is self-care. And I anticipate that this is not a new term to you. However, I'm wondering if you all have spent any time focused on it. Does it seem like self-care? You can just give it a nod of your head, yes or no, but like, yes, we're talking about self-care frequently. Yes, I have a self-care plan. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yes, sort of, maybe a little bit. Okay. So the concept of a self-care plan is that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you always have a place, a plan in place to protect yourself. So if I am in, I don't know, if I'm in a psychology class and the topic of conversation is causing me unrest, it's causing me some sort of reaction, maybe I had some sort of trauma in my past, maybe there's a story that's familiar to me and it's making me uneasy. How am I going to protect myself? What am I going to do to care for myself in those moments where I feel this dis-ease? So a self-care plan could look anything. It can include things that have to do with how you're going to rest the mind, how you're going to rest the body, and how you're going to take care of your spirit. For some of us, it might mean I'm going to leave a space when I feel uncomfortable. It could be something like I'm going to step outside whenever I start to feel anxious or agitated. It could be I'm going to take a nap every afternoon because I find that in the middle of the day I just feel really overwhelmed. It could be I feel like when I drink more water during the day, I take better care of myself and I feel better throughout the day. So in one way, this could be in an emergent situation. I'm in a crisis. I feel the crisis. What am I going to do? I'm going to take 3 deep breaths. I'm going to move my body. I'm going to step out. I'm going to drink water. Whatever those things may be. So I just want you to be thinking a little bit about them. We're not creating a full self-care plan right now, but I strongly encourage you to spend some time and figure this out for yourself. It will be very empowering when you find yourself in crisis to have some tools that will help you heal, right? We have lots of resources on this campus. You're all very fortunate to have this network of caring educators around. But at the end of the day, you can do some of this for yourself. You're not alone. And you can do it for each other, which would be really cool. So here's some examples. Again, I just wanted to kind of show them to you so that you can start to think through what are the ways that you're already taking care of yourself and what are some additional ways that you could be doing that. So whether it's emotional or physical, mental, social, spiritual, I love to practice yoga. I love mindfulness and meditation. I need that time, that grounded, really feeling centered time to clear my head. I have a lot of anxiety, as I described to you from my early college years, where I didn't have a name for it, but now I know what it is. And I know what it takes for me to keep it under control. This is part of that plan for me. And it comes into every facet of what you're doing. So I would just encourage you to take some time and think about how you take care of yourself in moments of stress. You might do it automatically, right? Like you might already be doing it and you're not even sure that it's happening. But when you think on it, I think you'll identify those things. And so back to this concept of health, right? We could talk about any of these things. There are so many different ways that we see health and wellness showing up in our lives. More and more, we're hearing about them, we're seeing them more frequently with younger students and with kids. All of these different things that can be happening. And we could also talk about, some of the things that are happening as college students, right? This is not news to you, I hope. You've heard this before. Eat a balanced diet, get enough sleep, drink lots of water, get good activity, right? These are all things that you're well aware of, and hopefully people have been mentioning to you. But just kind of bringing to mind, we could spend more time talking about that. We could spend a whole hour talking about sleep, right? And the power of sleep, and the healing power of sleep. Or we could ask you questions. We could talk about all the ways. Like if you wanted to manage your own schedule and really think through, where am I thriving? Where am I just surviving? What do I want to improve in my life? We could go through all of those things. These are all out there for you to look at anytime and to answer the questions. I think one of the things that we really want to pause on though is that there's no normal. And this is a stressful time, right? So perhaps never has a self-care plan been more important. Because right now, we are in an unprecedented time. You are creating a new normal that has never been before. And so we're navigating this weird world where, like, somebody just said to me before we got started that the sophomores, you know, those of you that are sophomores are really kind of living a freshman-ish experience because you hadn't been on campus. It didn't even occur to me what that might have felt like for you. That same class, what it felt like when your senior year was much short, right? The same class, right? So all of these things that have kind of been coming up, you are navigating unprecedented terrain. I think people forget how the impact might feel for you. And I don't want to discredit that. It is very confusing. And so thinking about what the benefit over time, so I'm sure you've heard people say, you guys are going to be so adaptable. You're going to be able to do anything because you went through all these things. You lost something too, right? And so some of us still might be experiencing some grief, or we might just have not been able to fully readjust on the way out. So I just want to give you the space and the acknowledgement that this is hard. It is a hard time. I see you thriving. I'm so glad you're back to school. But I definitely want to just have you think for a minute that we don't want to get stuck in that hard space. We don't want to be misaligned for long periods of time. We want to focus on the benefits and focus on the positive outcomes of this. The fact that you really do get to pave the way for your next, what is this going to look like for us? Education has changed drastically. Look at the way that we're live streaming and Zooming and Zoomies and all of that fun stuff. Your professional life is going to be the same. What your career may have been 4 years ago may look completely different by the time you get out. A, because there are careers that we didn't even imagine. And B, because the whole landscape of the professional world has changed. And so it really gives you a whole lot of opportunity to reimagine your future. And so being prepared to take care of yourself, your wellness, will help you enter into that space prepared. And so that kind of brings us to the beginning of really looking for, I'm going to work through a couple steps of transformational change with you. But I want to give you a second. So really thinking about, is there somewhere in your life that you feel out of alignment? So you're back to school, you just had your summer, things are whatever the new normal is. You feel pretty good. Hopefully most of us are feeling pretty good on a day-to-day. But maybe there's something that's just kind of nagging at you. There's something that's just not quite fitting. It's not feeling quite right. Something you thought you were going to do, but you never really got a chance to. You kind of put it on a shelf, but you kind of want to go after it again. Think for a second. I think for a lot of us, and this is not something you need to say publicly, a lot of times I feel like what you come up with are things that there's a little bit of fear and trepidation about admitting out loud or about saying out loud. I have this thing that I really want to accomplish, I really want to do, or I want to try, but I can't say it out loud. I wouldn't want someone to hear me say that. A club I want to join, a leadership role I want to take, a class I want to try, a job I want to have, a friend I want to meet, right? A study abroad I want to engage in, all of those things. So we're going to focus a little bit on what it looks like to make transformative change after you've identified an opportunity that might lead you to it. So, 5 steps. These apply to any decision, any change you're making in your life. This is not just about today. It's not just about the here and now. You have something you want to accomplish. There are steps to take that will get you there. There are also really common barriers that most people come to. We make a lot of excuses. Fear stops us dead in our tracks all the time. But if we have a process, we have a methodology for getting through that, and we name it, they say if you can name it, you can tame it. I love that in the trauma world, really thinking like, if I can name this thing that is causing me unrest, if I can name this thing that's stopping me from being my best self, from acting, I can tame it, I can get past it, I can dismantle it, and I can overcome it. And so this is really the process that you can do over and over again. So stepping back, letting go, saying yes, taking empowered action, and setting up accountability. So if you have something to write with or on, I would love for you just to kind of think, this is a very personal experience. It's not something that's going to be shared out. Your professors aren't going to ask you for your responses. But I would love for you to take a minute and identify one thing that you want. One thing that you want for yourself that you don't plan to have. Scholarship, could be a friendship, could be a relationship, could be a trip, could be an opportunity. It could be a health goal. It could be if you want fit, if you want flexible, increasing speed, routine. One thing. And it could be in your personal life. It could be about your relationship with your mom, with your brother. I wish I called more. I wish I talked more. I wish I had this relationship that was more true. I wish my best friend was more. I found a way to connect more. Or I wish I could move apart from my best friend in high school in some cases we need to move away from people. So think about something that's bringing you, something that's filling you up, or something that when you look at your reflection, you're thinking something's off. What is that one thing that could use some improvement in your life? So once you have that, we're going to kind of work through this opportunity all the way through this process. You'll see how the process works, and then you can apply it to anything. So now that we kind of have that thing in mind, I want you to think for a minute. I want you to stop and picture yourself with the thing. So if you need to close your eyes, you can close your eyes. Or if you can imagine it, just think, what would it look like if I had this thing? How would it be different? How would I transform it in some way? How would I feel different? Would I vibrate on it? Would I be on a different frequency? Would people be able to feel my energy uplifted? How would I know that it has how would it look like? Imagine that person. Yourself that has the same. Is she happier? Is he stronger? Are they faster? Right? Mind is such a powerful tool. And then I want you to ask yourself, what's keeping you from it? Why don't you have it already? What is getting in your life? Some of us might take time. Other people might have made time. A lot of people may unknowingly say fear. I can never do that. I'm too scared. Or they may not know it's fear, but that's actually what's stopping them from moving forward. Often is the case. So name the thing that's stopping you from having a thing. And maybe it's something that you need to let go of. Maybe it's a person that's holding you back. Could be a relationship. Step outside your comfort zone and magic happens. It might mean stepping out alone. It might mean stepping out within the group. Aligning yourself with something different. So we've identified what it was. We've talked about what we need to let go of. Our next step is to say yes. We need to commit. So the power of a commitment. So what I know for sure is that speaking your truth is the most powerful tool we all have. Speaking it into existence. So trying it, thinking it, looking at, visualizing it for yourself, and really thinking through, what does this look like for me? So if you would, even just close your eyes for a minute and envision yourself, your future self, walking in space. They already have this thing. You can kind of look at them and you can see that they know what it's going to take to get there. And you can see that they're experiencing it. And let that experience motivate, inspire. What would that future self tell you? How you go for it, how you force it, take the chance, do the thing, make the call. Let that vision of your future self help be part of what motivates you, and say yes to change for your health and wellness, for better outcomes. I love this quote. This comes up a lot, but cheating yourself of the world, right? Don't cheat the world of your contribution. Give it what you got. We need all of you, right? We need all of us. You are the future. We are working to secure it. You want to make sure that you're showing up in it. in a way that feels empowered, positive, and then we move into step 4. So we're taking empowered action. So I want you to think for a minute now as we go into this. Think about the item that you select. On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad do you want it? Scale of 1 to 10. Like a 5. You might need to rethink it. Maybe you need to find something that's closer to an 8 or a 9, something you want so bad, something that you really, really want. If you're willing to admit it to yourself that you want to see happen, get it on that scale. And if it's not a 7 or higher, rethink it. You're missing something. It's either not the actual thing you want, maybe there's something connected to it that you missed, or maybe there's something that you want more. And so you might have to revisit or rethink that. Answer for yourself when you want it. When do you want this to happen? Is this something you can wait a year for? Is this something you can wait 6 months for? Is this something that you wanted 6 months ago? So capture one, let's get it moving, right? Taking this empowered action. The next thing I would have you just note is one thing you will do immediately to start change. So what are the things that you can do today or tomorrow that will help you motivate towards the step? So some of my health clients might say, like, I really just want to start with drinking water. I wish I could drink more water. I never drink enough water. I just don't. It's not something I do naturally. And we come up with, as we talk through it, and we say, well, what would it take? Well, I would need to have cold water in my refrigerator all the time. Okay. For you all living in dorms, it might be that you need to have water accessible to you more frequently. Okay. So that's kind of one of the barriers, or one of the things that we could change along the way would be getting to that thing. Somebody needed a prettier water bottle. There's so many water bottles. If that's going to be the thing, right? If a water bottle is going to be the thing that's going to stop you from drinking more water, taking care of yourself, buy a water bottle. If that's the only thing stopping you, go for it. So think about the barriers. Think about what you need to get rid of. Think about if it's powerful enough to move you forward. If you're landed soon enough that it feels like something you can work on to improve your wellness and your well-being and to improve the situation that you found yourself in. And these might be scary, hard things, right? I don't want to minimize this to say it's just drinking water. You might have a bad habit that you're acknowledging that you need to walk away from. Or you might have an unhealthy relationship that is really weighing you down. You know that you need to walk away, but you don't know how. There are resources on this campus for all of those things. I know that last year, and I don't know if it's going on now, but there was a huge campaign on this campus to talk about ending the stigma of drinking and drug addiction. That has touched so many of our lives, I was included. And so there are different things. Right? So sometimes it's little, sometimes it's bigger, but either way, no matter how you do it, you can follow the same steps to get there. And then in the end, setting up accountability. So if you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with, I'm going to take a second. And list your 5 people. Who are the 5 people that you spend the most time with? So then when you look at that list, does it reflect where you want to be? Does it reflect who you want to be? Are you sitting with a person who you're thinking, you need to get off my list? Right? I need room on my list for another person. This is not working out. Yeah, see? So I want you to examine the 5 people you're spending the most time with and look at their goals and what is their empowered action? Do they have any? Are they motivated for change? Maybe they're driving you and pushing you, but if you're always pulling the weight of the 5 people that are you spending the most time with, that's a lot of pressure. And you might be able to use your energy in better, different ways to take care of yourself, protecting your wellness and your well-being. And so it's always good to kind of reflect on that and think that through. And I think that as you get older, it gets a little bit easier. You start to realize pretty quickly, right? We're busy, we're wearing a lot of hats, we don't have a ton of extra time. You get really particular about who you keep in your circle or on your bus. There are a lot of different ways that we can talk about it. But think about who would hold you accountable to this goal. Is there one person, at least, that you could say it out loud to that would support you and hold you accountable? If it's such a change that sounds terrifying, then you would never want to say it out loud to anyone. They're professionals on campus surgery for that reason. I know some of the people in your counseling center are phenomenal. So connecting with them will be a great first step. And it could be that you guide somewhere else through this process, right? So if you have a friend that's really having a hard time, you can use this tool for them and say, hey, let's do this. Where do you want to be? What do you need to let go of? What are the barriers? When do you want to start? Off of you. So it's a great tool and resource to support. I use it at work. I use it with my children. I use it with friends. It's just a way and a process to think through issues that will keep your wellness at the forefront. And so really thinking on who could you call? I mean, if you're really feeling motivated, you can text them right now and say, hey, I just decided I'm going to work on this day. Will you hold me accountable? They'll push you, but that's what we need. It's required in order for us to move forward. And then in the end, we find ourselves with success. So you've come to the end of putting all the pieces together, and you have an outcome that feels invigorating and uplifting, and you get that energetic lift that lets you do the next hard thing, right? One thing, just showing up here, right, on campus, coming back into the world, wearing masks all the time, the hard things you don't have to do all the time, just to day by day, put one foot in front of the other. Another will follow. And so this is part of the process that you can use for that. And so my goal would be for you to get to the end and feel the success and to be able to see that person that we just envisioned in the future, to see yourself in that and say, there it is. I've arrived. I'm here. What's next? How can I share this knowledge with someone else? So when we first started out, we did a little bit of breathing and breath work. I believe that it is the most powerful thing that we have. It's a tool that you carry with you everywhere you go. I think that we underestimate it. My hope is that you all are at an age where you came out of high school settings and elementary and middle school settings that are starting to talk about the power of your breath. I would love to think that you'll put that in your pocket and really take that with you. Right? Your breath is a powerful, powerful thing. I believe that probably of all things, the food you eat, right? If you eat a crappy diet, you're gonna get a crappy outcome. You know that. You know that. College freshman, college sophomore, you're eating the cafeteria, you're not really eating the best choices all the time. Food's really good. Maybe if you love it, I don't know. You can get whatever you want, whenever you want it. And so what you get in, what you get out, we know that. But with our breath, we take that everywhere we go. It's free for us. It's kind of like putting on running shoes. You can run anywhere mostly, right? You don't need a gym to do those things. And so I really just wanted to impart to you the power of that quick little activity of rolling your shoulders, of breathing into your belly, of breathing in peace and light, and exhaling whatever is holding you back. You have that accessibility all the time. So that's something. The series of questions or steps that you can take to make transformative change. Use them, take them with you. I wish I had known sooner how to sort of shift and pose those questions for myself so that I could understand the things that were getting in my way. It was just sort of like, I had a barrier. I couldn't really name it. I couldn't really figure it out. I would kind of give up. I was kind of just like, well, I guess I'm not meant to have that thing. But I never took the time or the steps to get there. And so when you get to that success, you'll realize that's another tool you have for life, right? You take everything with you. You take the power with you. And so really, we're coming to sort of the end. I really was looking forward to an activity with you. This is the thing that I find to be the biggest gift. And you get all of your gifts this evening if you are willing and comfortable, and really work through a full body relaxation. Again, I feel like this is a resource and a tool that you can kind of put in your back pocket and you can take it with you wherever you go. My hope is that you feel comfortable and safe in this space and that you're able to fully participate. But absolutely, if you do not, you need to use a self-care plan. You need to do what's safe for you. You can see where the exits are in this space. I want you to feel supported. I would ask that if it is available to you, that you close your eyes. But if you feel uncomfortable with that for any reason, feel free to just stare down at the space on the ground. And I'm going to absolutely ask you to clear off your laps and clear off anything that you have in your hands. I really want you to be fully grounded in the seat, in the chair. If your legs are crossed, so love to get them across them and put those feet on the floor. This seems like, I don't know, without interacting fully with you to know if anybody's already doing any kind of mindfulness meditation. practice. This has nothing to do with my belief system, my religion, right? I found breath and meditation healing. I pray, I practice yoga, I can do both, I can do all, as can you, it's accessible to all of us. And so I want to share this gift with you. It's going to take a few minutes. And my hope and wish and vision is that somewhere, maybe in the near future, you'll find yourself in a state of stress and you're not going to know quite what to do, and you're going to remember this moment. You're going to walk yourself through this, and you're going to be taking care of yourself, and your wellness is going to improve. And that's freedom. Okay? So, I want you to bring some attention to your bodies and put your things aside if you haven't already. Sit comfortably in the seat. Feel the seat back behind you. If you feel comfortable, allow your eyes to close. Or if not, focus on a spot in front of you. Allow your arms to rest by your sides. And if your legs are crossed, uncross them. On the next in breath, feel your back lengthen and straighten. On the next out breath, allow your muscles to soften and bring your attention to the familiar expansion and release of the breath in the belly. Let your attention rest on the rhythm of the breath. To help yourself pay attention to the breath, you may want to place one hand on your belly and the other on your heart, feeling the rhythm of the breath and maybe noticing how your mind, your body, your heart respond. When you're ready, let your hands rest in your lap or at your sides and breathe your kind and curious attention into your feet. Notice the sensations in your feet, the feel of your socks, your shoes, or if you're barefoot or wearing sandals, notice the air. Perhaps you can be aware of the spaces between your toes. Perhaps you can feel the sensations in the muscles and bones of your feet. Now allow the breath and the attention to move up into the ankles and lower legs. Noting the sensations in the ankles and feeling the curve of the calf muscles and straightness of the shin bones. When you're ready, breathe your attention into your knees, feeling the muscles and tendons that move and support the knees, and then feeling into the knee joints. Breathing and noticing the sensations in the knees, and perhaps noticing any thoughts or feelings that happen to be here. Restlessness, peace, weakness, irritation, letting it all be just as it is. And in your own time, breathing the attention into the backs of your thighs and your seat, feeling the places where your legs make contact with the chair and the places where they don't. Allowing the attention to circle around the outer thighs, over the tops of the thighs, and across. Perhaps you can feel the weight of your clothing and the specific sensations in the different areas of the thighs. And now, breathing your attention into the bowl of your pelvis, the area where your legs connect with your body. Perhaps you can feel the breath expanding and releasing in the bowl of your pelvis. Now again, focus your attention on the familiar rising and falling of the breath in your belly. Resting deeply in the stillness
and quietness between the in-breath and the out. Allowing the breath and attention to sink through the belly into the lower back. Seeing if you can feel the breath expanding and releasing in the lower back. Simply notice what's happening in your body. Sensations of tension, comfort, or perhaps neutrality, which is a kind of nothingness. Now, letting the breath and the attention move upward into the mid and upper back, exploring the region between the shoulder blades. When your attention is pulled by a thought or feeling, gently, kindly return your attention to the instructions. And when you're ready, allow the breath and attention to move around and through the rib cage into the chest. Again, feeling the movement and sensations of the breath in the chest. Now, letting the breath and attention drift up into the shoulders and down along the length of your arms into your hands. Noting any sensations of ache, strength, and comfort in the arms. Exploring the sensations in the palms of the hands and the back of the hands, the fingers and the thumbs. And now moving the breath and attention into the neck, feeling along the back of the neck, the sides of the neck, the front, perhaps even feeling the movement of the breath in the throat. Now allow the breath and the attention to move up into your face, feeling the position of your jaw, the curve of your lips, and your facial expression. Perhaps you can feel the breath moving in and out at the tip of your nose and the touch of your hair or the air on your forehead. Let the breath and attention circle along the sides of the head, to the back of the head, up to the top of the head, and into the miraculous brain. Again, just noting the sensations as you breathe kind attention into your face, your head, your mind. Now let the breath and attention fill your entire body, brain, head, face, neck, arms, chest, back, belly, pelvis, legs, and feet. Feeling the breath filling you and emptying you. Appreciating the stillness and quietness and aliveness inside of you. Perhaps taking a moment to be grateful for this body, this one that is here right now, exactly how it is. Come to the edge, he said. We can't. We're afraid, they responded. Come to the edge, he said. We can't. We'll fall. Come to the edge, he said. And so they came, and he pushed them, and they flew. As the session comes to an end, start to bring movement to your toes, your fingers, your ankles, your wrists. Maybe tilt your head from side to side, roll your shoulders, breathe in, breathe out. And when you're ready, slowly flutter your eyes open, come back into the space, knowing that anytime you feel yourself stuck in thinking or upset by feelings, you can bring this attention to your body in very short, simple, secret ways. You can notice the sensations of breathing, the feeling of your feet on the floor, the weight of your backpack on your shoulders, or the shape of a pencil in your hand. When you drop out of your head and into your belly or your breath or your feet, you can interrupt repetitive patterns of negative thoughts and feelings and decrease their intensity. The practice of yoga really encourages us to appreciate that the love and light in me honors the love and light in you and acknowledges that through that we are all connected. And so I just want to thank you for the time in practicing with me and going through that process. If you feel uplifted or relaxed, at least I really am hopeful that you will go into the world in a mindful and well way that will allow you to take these gifts with you. The breath, the thoughts, the mind, the action, the way that you feel to experience yourself throughout the world. Thank you so much for joining us. Namaste. Sorry, now are you sleeping?
I have to drive her home, so
That wasn't really a good choice on your point. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here with us tonight. I appreciate all of you joining us here in person and those of you that were with us in the LionSide Chat webinar. We thank you for your time and we wish that you go peace and namaste. Good night, everyone.